afternoon. We would like to welcome Xander Schauffele to the Players Championship Media Center. Xander, making your 5th appearance here at Sawgrass, want to start off with some opening comments on what it's like to be back.
Yeah, it's always great being back. The Players Championship, it's a big event, and it feels like a very important week. So it's always nice to be back here. The weather seems to be pretty nice, and just looking forward to a good week.
With that, I'll go ahead and already turn around to the media. We'll start off here in the front.
Xander, is there an easy answer to how you've played this course since the first time when it was still in May? I know nobody was beating Webb that week, but you did tie for second. And since then, did you think you had it figured out a little bit, or what's been going on?
Yeah. You're actually the second guy. Someone just outside reminded me how terrible my record is here now since my tied second finish. So I wasn't aware that I was so bad here. You guys are crushing it. No, you're good. I guess reality checks is always nice. Usually my wife gives me one, so we'll just let it be in the media room today. But yeah, it's just different. It's a different style. Last year I'd wash up as an X. Felt like we're at an Open Championship, and I got the bad side of the wave. Became a bad statistic there last year, unfortunately. So looking for more reasonable weather this year, and sort of a more even keel split there in the draw. That'd be helpful for me to, I guess, get over the hump here.
But do you think your overall skill set fits this course and will as years go on?
I firmly believe my skill set's going to fit any golf course. That's kind of what we've tried to work on is make sure that I can play anywhere. It's just going to be a matter of if I can wrap my head around it or not. So I'll have to dig deep this week after these interviews to make sure I'm coming out positive.
I'm going to get a microphone over in the back to Espen. Left in the white.
Hi, Xander. Asked a few players about this. Do you have, if you were to pick, do you have a favorite hole on this course, and which hole do you find the most challenging?
There are a lot of really good holes on the property. 18's a really good hole. It's really hard. 18 could be up there, I guess. If I had to go through, you're asking the wrong guy if you're talking about architecture and things of that nature. I'm sure Pat will come through here at some point, but the course plays very difficult. The design sort of rewards aggressive play. You have to aim at flag sticks, and sometimes when you're short-sided, you're actually chipping uphill, and versus kind of going towards the fatter part of the green, it'll leave you sort of a 60-foot putt that's up and over and then downhill at the end. So I think a lot of that has to do with sort of Pete Dye's design and how he sort of envisions the flow of the course.
And go ahead, Dylan.
Do you have any specific memories from last year, like when you think back on your tournament experience, how crazy that wave is? What comes to mind? Yeah.
17 was awesome. 18 was even better. I think Austin showed me the stat on his phone. That's why I got rid of social media, but I think he showed me like a first ever to go from like the top 10 to outside the top 100 or something like that in like one hole. So like I said, my team's all about giving me reality checks, and I got one.
And then what's your sort of big picture take on these PGA Tour changes?
I like I said to you before, I'm pretty aware of them. I think just with everything in any sort of line of work, you need a certain sample size of certain amount of years to sort of see if a change is going to be correct or not. They look fine to me, if you ask me. But I think unless you get enough sort of years under your belt where you see how the flow of it is, if someone's getting screwed or if someone's not getting screwed, and things of that nature, if good play is rewarded, and I think you just need a bigger sample size to sort of adjust and move on. The tour has obviously shown that they're not afraid to make changes. So if things aren't great, if people are, some guys aren't very happy right now, some guys are happy. If people aren't super happy, the overall membership, then we got to adjust it moving forward.
And just pass the mic to James there.
Sorry, little handoff there. I'm wondering, have you watched the Netflix show?
No.
Do you intend to watch it?
Man, I'm really trying to go over the hump this week, so I don't know how watching a show is going to help me with my sort of mental stress levels right now.
Beyond this week, could you see yourself doing it?
Man, my wife watched it. Yeah,
like it?
She did. She told me I need to watch it. Actually, she watched Tony Finau's episode, and she said it was awesome. So I mean, her and Elena get along, and I heard great things about his episode as well. So I don't know, man. I'm more of like a murder mystery. I don't really like to bring my work home, unless there's any murder on the show. Then probably not.
TBD.
All right, moving over front left.
Xander, you and Kurt both mentioned last week you guys play quite a bit together at home. You knew how good he was. Just wondering if you were expecting that out of him last Sunday.
Yeah, Kurt's great. He's got a lot of firepower, and it was honestly inspiring to watch. Just inspiring to watch, just because I've played with him a lot. I've seen him rattle off, 10, 12 birdies playing at home, but to do what he did on a big stage, like I said, it was it was awesome. It was cool to watch, and couldn't be happier for him. So, am I surprised? No, not really. I think it just sort of, for me, the inspiration came from just a little ounce of self-belief can go a long way in big moments, and he obviously showed a lot of that on the back nine. So, happy to have a little go around with him this week.
And we'll get a microphone to Malty.
Hi, I'm Malti from Bloomberg News. Thanks for taking my question. Just shifting gears a bit, I know people have been talking about asking you about your favorite hole and and things about the course. But I've been closely tracking the antitrust fight between Liv Golf and the PGA Tour. And my question for you is, if there was a settlement, what do you think the PGA Tour should push for so that its players are protected?
Sorry, between who?
Between Liv Golf and the PGA Tour, the legal fight.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was a settlement...
Got it. Yeah, what should they push for?
Sure.
Oh, man. I am no lawyer, and I have not wrapped my head around a lot of that, to be honest. I have not followed, similar to Full Swing, I haven't really followed a lot of the legal complications. I figured, we have the right people in place to handle big battles of that nature, and my job is to go and play golf on green grass, and I'm not really sure what. I'm sure Jay, I see him up there right now. I'm sure that's a good question for him in terms of sort of what he'd like to settle for. But as I see it right now, I think the tour is doing just fine.
Sure, but anything from like the player's perspective in terms of what you would like to see, just sort of hypothetically speaking, like a merging or a possibility to maybe potentially have the players come back. I'm just curious if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's so fresh. It's such a new sort of fracture in the sport that it's pretty soon. It's too soon to tell. I mean, I can tell you that I want to compete against the best players in the world. Is there a chance that some of those players are on that tour right now? Yeah, I'd say so. And so we'll be able to see them at the majors. And if, Dustin's beating me every week, then, yeah, I'd like to get a piece of Dustin when I can and make sure it's not only 4 times a year. But at the same time, I don't know if that ship has sailed in terms of doing some sort of merger of that nature. But I don't know. You're asking the wrong person, to be honest.
Sure. And when you see them at the majors, like, what do you think it's going to be like in terms of the dynamic if the players from both sides are, face-to-face or sitting together?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. To be completely honest, I've pretty much had almost no beef with any of the guys anywhere. It's not like completely in my nature to do that. I try to call it how I see it for the most part, and everyone on that tour has had a reason for leaving, and everyone on this tour has had a reason for staying. So we're just gonna go play golf, and I'm sure there'll be. I don't see any fights breaking out or anything crazy of that nature, but I'm sure there'll be some funny looks here and there. But other than that, I'm sure I'll be happy to see a few of those guys again.
Got it. No, thanks so much, and good luck for the game.
Thank you.
We have time for a few more. We're going to get the microphone over the back to Don.
Thank you. Hey, for those of us who are just getting to know Kitayama, what do you think is the most interesting thing about him?
Oh, man. I can't reveal too much stuff about him. I don't know. His legs used to be bigger.
Really?
Hard to wrap your head around, right?
What makes him such a great player?
I mean, he put it on display last week. You know, I think he's just a lot. He looks so innocent, you know what I mean? But he's a lot tougher than he looks. He hung tough to make I think the first guy in a long time to make he hit 2 balls OB that week, and he won the tournament. So, I mean, I'd say, to be fair, you're probably not going to be able to do that on any other property. You can kind of, when I say get away with it at Bay Hill, you know what I mean when I say that, because it's so hard. You have to just pick up shots somewhere else. But guys are going to lose shots to the field, and that's just how that tournament works. But shoot, I mean, if I hit 2 balls OB, I try my best, but that'd be a hard one to come back from and to win. So he obviously stayed really stoic throughout that whole process, which was really impressive.
Perfect. That's all the time we have for questions. Xander, thanks for taking the time. Best of luck this week.
Thank you.